All right, Eagle Nation, A.J. Brown added to the injury report yesterday, and just moments ago, Nick Sirianni gave us some insight on his status for Monday night. But should they start the game plan without him? Also, the Birds have a huge decision to make this week when it comes to their second corner and slot corner, with one player returning from injury. Should they go ahead and make a change? And we talk about a couple main areas the Birds need to address and capitalize on to get this win on Monday night against the Falcons, but will they get the job done? Welcome on into A to Z Philly. I'm RB. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to stay tapped in with the coverage, but we must start it off with a stat of the day. Stat of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Kirk Cousins at one point had lost 9 straight games on Monday Night Football. He is currently 3-10 on Monday night. He has played Philly twice during those games and lost both. He does not show up under the bright lights. The Eagles have to get to Kirk Cousins. They have to put some pressure in his face. We will get to that more. You know, the Falcons in week 1 had a really strong defensive performance, and I'm expecting them to bring the same kind of aggressiveness in week number 2. And of course, they're going to have a little bit more of an advantage if A.J. Brown is not on the field. Okay, A.J. Brown was added to the Eagles injury report yesterday. We had a couple guys on here, then Fred Johnson and A.J. Brown get added to the report, and he was listed with a hamstring injury. Not many people knew what was going on, listed as a limited participant, but just moments ago, we got some more insight from Nick Sirianni on what is going on. Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni on the hamstring injury says that A.J. Brown suffered it in Friday's practice, quote, got a little tight in practice, and we backed him off. We will see how today goes. I listened to a couple minutes where the reporters then asked him about the third wide receiver and if all the other players are ready to step up and step in. And Sirianni got a little bit defensive. He seemed annoyed and he seemed a little bit frustrated, and it just doesn't give off a good vibe for me. And you're going up against a team with a really good secondary that's going to be able to put some pressure on. So if AJ is not on the field, it completely changes the game plan for the Philadelphia Eagles. The good thing about the Philadelphia Eagles is if AJ doesn't show up, they have another number 1 wide receiver in Devontae Smith. Another area where the Eagles will have to make a huge decision is at the slot corner and the outside corner number 2, right? Isaiah Rodgers, we talked about coming back from injury this week. He had suffered a hand injury, had a little mini surgery, and is ready to go. Isaiah Rodgers is ready to make his Eagles debut, but the question is, should he? Eagles rookie Quinyon Mitchell in his rookie debut allowed 4 catches for 9 yards, a 66.9 passer rating, and had 3 pass breakups. He was incredible. Right now, they were moving him a little bit in the slot and out, but mostly he played on the outside with Avonte Maddox playing that nickel corner. And unfortunately, the Eagles got torched by Jaden Reed because Avonte Maddox just was not up to par. So the question this week is, do you kind of move Quinyon back, even though he played so well on the outside, and put Isaiah Rodgers in? Or do you maybe try a guy like Kelee Ringo? Or even better yet, do you try the other Eagles rookie, Cooper DeJean? According to the sources, Cooper DeJean is now only taking reps at the nickel corner. They are trying to prepare. They are nurturing this guy. They are trying to get him ready because he's a couple steps behind from getting hurt in camp. But it seems like they are planning for Cooper DeJean to be that nickel corner. Maybe they're already so impressed on what they saw from Quinyon Mitchell that they're ready to keep him as the long-term option at the outside. We know that's where he's preparing for. We know that's what he's headed towards. But they were trying to take it slowly, little by little, step by step. But Quinyon went out there and was able to lock down some of these receivers, but he brought that swagger. He brought that I'm ready type of energy, and maybe they're going to throw him back out there this week. Also, Eagles corner Darius Slay talked about his history with Kirk Cousins. They asked him, how many interceptions do you have against Kirk in your career? He said 3. I hope he makes it 5. Now, Mekhi Becton already making a huge impression on Jalen Hurts. Becton's going to be huge this week against that Falcons defensive line, especially against Grady Jarrett, who had 1.5 sacks in week 1, matched his total from 2023. He came out with a vengeance, and Mekhi Becton was perfect. He did not allow anything in week 1. I feel like everything Mekhi Becton has done since the moment he announced he was going to be with the Philadelphia Eagles has just been awesome. Like, he seems like a guy that really fits in and is appreciative of his opportunities and loves Jeff Stoutland. And I mean, who wouldn't, right? The guy revitalizes everybody's career. But now we need to see it again. Mekhi Becton needs to have another solid week in week 2. And as we start to look forward to this week number 2 game, the Eagles have to come out here and dominate, right? We give them a little bit of a pass for the field condition in Brazil, and we know it was kind of a wonky start to the season. But this is your home opener. There's 2 things that I think are really going to spark the energy of this crowd in week 2. One is the Nick Foles retirement ceremony. The last time the Eagles had their home opener against the Falcons in 2018, Nick Foles was actually the quarterback, and he came out and won a tight game. And the energy is going to be very high in the building, right? Seeing Nick Foles, bringing back all the memories, rejuvenating that atmosphere. And then you're going to see Jason Kelce on Monday night. And like I said, once the Bird fans see him, there's going to be Jason Kelce cheers and chants. They're probably going to tell him to go put a damn jersey on and get in the game. But nonetheless, the energy is going to be high for this Eagles home opener. And like I said earlier, Kirk Cousins does not show up in these type of atmospheres. He is 3-10 in primetime games on Monday night. He is, I believe, 12-20 or 12-21 overall in primetime games. Every time the Birds play this guy, it is one of 2 ways. Every time I watch a Kirk Cousins game, it's one of 2 ways. He either gets the ball out very quick, completes a lot of his passes, and just plays a very clean game, gets the ball out quick, or he looks like an absolute deer in headlights. And I take it back to even the last 2 performances that he had against the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Last year, the Birds got a win, luckily, against Minnesota, even though their defense was bad. But last year, he completed 70% of his passes, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. The year before that, the Vikings played the Eagles. That's when Jefferson got locked up. Cousins went 27 for 46. He had a touchdown, 3 interceptions, and he only completed 58% of his passes. It's literally one way or the other with this guy. And honestly, I don't see any in between, which is why I'm very eager to see what Vic Fangio's style and strategy is in this game. We know he likes to hound on that bend but don't break defense, but if I had to give my one main key in this game, it is, can the Eagles' defensive line finally step up, generate some pressure, and get in the face of Kirk Cousins? I need to see more blitzes dialed up. I need to see these guys break through and get to Kirk Cousins. And I'm looking at the man who got paid $17 million per year in Bryce Huff. This is a perfect opportunity to have a breakout game, right? You're going up against an offensive lineman in Caleb McGarry, who's a former first-round pick, but really does not establish any type of pass protection. He's a good run blocker, but he cannot protect Kirk Cousins. And if Bryce Huff is lined up on that side, he needs to get at least 1.5 sacks. He needs to break through. You need to go out there and make a statement. I'm looking at Josh Sweat. I'm looking at Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. The Falcons were one of the worst graded offensive lines in week 1. That's probably why Kirk Cousins had 19 passing yards in the second half, because he cannot play when there is pressure. I know you can say that about a lot of quarterbacks, and you can say that, just in general about trying to win a football game. But with Kirk Cousins, it literally plays out the same way every single time. If you can crack that offensive line and get a hand in his face, he makes bad decisions. He doesn't know what he's doing. He can't run. He's not really mobile, and he's coming off an injury. The Eagles can force a lot of turnovers in this game, and that's really another main key. Nick Sirianni talked about winning the turnover battle. The Eagles were the only team to lose the turnover battle but still win in week 1, and Jalen Hurts has to make better decisions. They have to take care of the ball, and they need to force Kirk Cousins to throw a couple interceptions. And it goes without saying, but of course, the Eagles need to utilize Saquon Barkley, stick with the run. The Falcons, in my opinion, have a really good secondary, and they're going to bring that toughness, right? They did not allow an offensive touchdown in week 1. They have a great secondary when it comes to Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons, and they have A.J. Terrell. They have guys, and especially with Matt Judon, who can man the middle of the field, can also get to the quarterback. They have some real pieces, right, that can change the game. So your pass protection is going to need to be there. Jalen has to make good decisions with the ball, and you have to utilize the middle of the field, right? I could expect this to be probably a big Dallas Goedert game. I know the Falcons did not really utilize Bijan Robinson too well in week 1, but he's a dangerous weapon. This is a dangerous game because the Eagles are the better team, but the Falcons have weapons that can still beat you. Kyle Pitts, Drake London. Eagles have won 4 out of the last 5 against this team, but a lot of them have been that way. The one they lost was when Julio Jones had that huge 4th and 3 play at the end of the game and scored a touchdown. So It feels like every game against the Falcons is that way, and I would expect this to be another one. Overall, I think this game could definitely be shifted by whether A.J. Brown plays or not, but nonetheless, the Eagles have to establish a run with Saquon early. I know Kellen Moore will do a good job of that, and I think the Birds can come out here and win this game. I think it is going to be a bit tighter than people may assume, but I'm going to pick them at home in front of the crazy crowd to get a W and advance to 2-0. I think the Birds are going to win this game 24-20. But that's all I got. Eagle Nation, give me your thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on this game? What is your final score prediction? Appreciate everybody tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That being said, I'll catch you on the next one. Also, real quick, let's go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsor of today's video. It is the great BetMGM. Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up using our code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you do not win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to parlays, live bets, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. So sign up today with the bonus code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you do not win your first bet. Brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Download the app today. Please gamble responsibly.